Hello, Toonami! What an absolutely brilliant day to be talking about our beloved Newcastle United, the best team in the world. I've got some fantastic content lined up for you all today. Straight from the heart of St. James Park, we're diving into two cracking stories that really show what makes our club so special. The quality of our players and the ambition we're showing in the transfer market. Before we get stuck in, I've got a couple of questions that I'm dying to hear your thoughts on. What do you reckon about Tino Livramento's praise for Nick Pope's underrated heroics in that Carabao Cup final? That save against Curtis Jones really was something special, wasn't it? And secondly, how would you feel about bringing Anthony Elanga to Tyneside for around 35 million? Is that the kind of signing that gets you excited for next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I love hearing from fellow Magpies. Right then, let's start with something that absolutely warms my heart as a Newcastle fan, seeing our players recognizing and appreciating each other's brilliance. Tino Livramento has come out singing the praises of Nick Pope, and specifically about a moment from our glorious Carabao Cup final victory that he feels doesn't get nearly enough attention. And you know what? He's absolutely spot on. Our Portuguese wizard Livramento has highlighted Nick Pope's incredible save against Curtis Jones during that magical night at Wembley. And honestly, it's about time someone gave that moment the recognition it deserves. Picture the scene. We're cruising at 2-0 up, thanks to goals from Dan Burn and Alexander Isak. Liverpool are desperately throwing everything at us in typical Anfield fashion. And Curtis Jones unleashes this absolute rocket that looked destined for the back of our net. But who's there to deny him? Our magnificent number one, Nick Pope, producing the kind of instinctive brilliance that separates the good keepers from the truly exceptional ones. Livramento described it perfectly when he said it was such a crucial moment that simply doesn't get spoken about enough. He's right to emphasize the reaction time and the sheer power that Jones got on that shot. In moments like that, there's no time to think, no time to position yourself perfectly. It's pure instinct, years of training, and that mental fortitude that makes champions. Pope's ability to get his arm there and tip it over the bar was absolutely magnificent. And it's exactly the kind of moment that can define cup finals. What makes this even more special is hearing it from Livramento himself, who had his own heroic performance that night. Remember, our flying fullback was playing out of position at left back due to Lewis Hall's injury, and he absolutely pocketed Mohamed Salah, one of the Premier League's most dangerous players. For someone who produced such a stellar performance himself, to take time to praise a teammate shows exactly the kind of character and team spirit we have at this incredible club. The timing of that save was absolutely crucial too. Liverpool were building momentum, the pressure was mounting, and you could feel the atmosphere shifting slightly. One goal from them at that moment could have completely changed the complexion of the game. We've all seen how quickly momentum can swing in football, especially in cup finals where nerves and emotions run so high. Pope's intervention didn't just save a goal. It preserved our psychological advantage and kept Liverpool at arm's length when they were most dangerous. This is exactly why Nick Pope has been such a revelation since joining us from Burnley back in 2022. The man's been an absolute servant to our cause, consistently delivering performances that remind you why England managers keep calling him up. His shot-stopping ability is obvious to anyone who watches Newcastle regularly. But it's moments like this, the clutch saves when everything's on the line, that separate him from the pack. What's particularly impressive about Pope is his consistency throughout what was a remarkable 2024-25 campaign for us. Livramento mentioned that Pope rarely put a foot wrong last season, especially towards the end of the campaign. And that's exactly the kind of reliability you need from your goalkeeper. In a sport where one mistake can cost you everything, having someone between the sticks who you can trust implicitly is absolutely priceless. The fact that there are now questions about Pope's future, with links to James Trafford and potential interest from Leeds, only makes you appreciate what we have even more. While bringing in competition is always healthy, losing someone of Pope's caliber would be a massive blow. He's proven himself at the highest level. He understands what it means to wear the black and white stripes. And most importantly, he delivers when it matters most. Livramento's comments also highlight something beautiful about our current squad: the mutual respect and recognition between players. This isn't just about individual brilliance. It's about a team that genuinely appreciates each other's contributions. When you have players like Livramento taking time to praise teammates for moments that might have been forgotten by casual observers, it shows the kind of winning mentality and team chemistry that Eddie Howe has built. That Carabao Cup triumph will live long in the memory for all of us, and rightly so. It was our first major trophy in decades, a moment that reminded the football world that Newcastle United belongs among the elite. But it's comments like these from Livramento that remind us it wasn't just about the goals or the celebrations. It was about every single contribution, every crucial save, every perfectly timed tackle that made that night possible. So here's to Nick Pope and that incredible save against Curtis Jones. Here's to Tino Livramento for making sure it gets the recognition it deserves. And here's to our magnificent Newcastle United, where every player's contribution matters and every moment of brilliance is celebrated by teammates who understand what it means to be part of something truly special. Right then, let's dive into what could be one of the most significant transfer sagas of our summer: the pursuit of Anthony Elanga from Nottingham Forest. This is exactly the kind of story that gets every Newcastle fan's pulse racing, because it shows our ambition, our scouting network's quality, and frankly, our determination to keep building something truly special at St. James's Park. The numbers tell quite a story here, don't they? Forest are reportedly valuing Elanga at over 50 million, while we're looking at an initial 35 million with potential add-ons. Now, some might see this as us being penny pinching, but I see it as smart business from a club that's learned how to operate intelligently in the modern transfer market. We're not throwing money around recklessly like some clubs. We're making calculated decisions that reflect true value. Let's talk about what Elanga brings to the table, because honestly, his 2024-25 season was absolutely phenomenal. 6 goals and 11 assists in 38 Premier League games for a Nottingham Forest side that qualified for the Conference League. Those are serious numbers from a player who's still only 23 years old. When you break down those statistics, you're looking at a direct goal contribution every 2.2 games, which is exceptional for a winger in a team that wasn't exactly free scoring throughout the campaign. What excites me most about this potential signing is how perfectly Elanga would fit into Eddie Howe's system. We've seen how our manager loves versatile attacking players who can create chaos down the flanks, and Elanga's pace, directness, and end product tick every single box. His ability to contribute both goals and assists shows he's not just a pace merchant. He's got the footballing intelligence and technical ability to make the right decisions in the final third. The fact that we've maintained interest from last summer shows this isn't just a casual pursuit. Our recruitment team, led by the brilliant work they've been doing, clearly see something special in the Swedish international. When you consider some of our most expensive signings, Alexander Isak at 63 million, Sandro Tonali at 55 million. Anthony Gordon at 45 million. An initial 35 million no for a player of Elanga's potential and proven Premier League experience looks like exactly the kind of smart business we should be doing. What's particularly encouraging is the wage situation. Unlike the Brian and Belmo scenario, where astronomical salary demands proved prohibitive, reports suggest Elanga's wage expectations are much more reasonable. This is crucial when you consider the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules that we have to navigate carefully. Smart clubs find ways to add quality without breaking their financial structure, and this looks like exactly that kind of opportunity. The timing of this potential move couldn't be better either. We're coming off a season where we won the Carabao Cup and showed we can compete with the very best. Adding a player like Elanga to our attacking options would give Eddie Howe even more flexibility in how we approach different opponents and competitions. Imagine the headaches we'd cause opposing managers with the pace and directness of Elanga, combining with the creativity of players like Bruno Guimaraes and the clinical finishing of Alexander Isak. Forest's reluctance to accept anything under their valuation is completely understandable from their perspective. Elanga was instrumental in their successful campaign, and losing him would be a significant blow to their ambitions. But this is exactly where our negotiating skills and relationship building in the transfer market become crucial. We've shown before that we can structure deals creatively, finding ways to satisfy selling clubs while protecting our own interests. The add-ons mentioned in the potential structure could be the key to unlocking this deal. Performance-related bonuses that reward success are exactly the kind of arrangement that works for everyone involved. If Elanga comes to Newcastle and performs brilliantly, helping us achieve our objectives, then Forest deserve to benefit from that success too. It's the kind of win-win scenario that builds positive relationships across the football industry. What really gets me excited about this potential signing is thinking about Elanga's age and development curve. At 23, he's entering what should be the prime years of his career, and imagine what working under Eddie Howe's guidance could do for his game. We've seen how our manager has improved virtually every player who's worked under him, from transforming Joelinton into a midfield dynamo to getting the best out of Anthony Gordon's raw talent. The Sweden international's versatility is another massive plus. In modern football, especially with the demands of competing in multiple competitions, having players who can operate effectively in different positions is invaluable. Elanga's ability to play across the front line would give us tactical flexibility that could prove crucial in those big European nights we're all dreaming about. Looking at Forest's Conference League qualification, thanks partly to Elanga's contributions, you can see exactly why we want him. Players who can perform in pressure situations, who can deliver when their team needs them most, are exactly what we need as we continue building toward consistent Champions League football. His experience of helping a team achieve European qualification could be invaluable as we pursue our own continental ambitions. The negotiation process between the two clubs will be fascinating to watch unfold. Both sides have legitimate positions. Forest want maximum value for their star player, while we want to ensure we're paying a fair price that reflects our own financial planning. The art of modern transfer negotiations often comes down to finding creative solutions that satisfy everyone involved. And I have complete faith in our leadership to find that sweet spot. Ultimately, whether this deal happens at 35 million, 40 million, or somewhere in between, what matters most is that we're actively pursuing players who can make us better. Anthony Elanga represents exactly the kind of signing that shows out. Ambition hasn't diminished despite our success. We're not resting on our laurels after winning the Carabao Cup. We're looking to push on and establish ourselves as a permanent fixture among England's elite clubs. The summer transfer window is always an exciting time for us, Newcastle fans, but this potential Elanga deal feels particularly significant. It would show we're serious about building on last season's success, that we're willing to invest in quality, and that we understand what it takes to compete at the highest level consistently. Well, that's all from St. James's Park for today. Lads and lasses, whether it's celebrating Nick Pope's underrated brilliance or getting excited about potential new signings like Anthony Elanga, there's never a dull moment supporting the best team in the world. Keep the faith, keep supporting our magnificent Magpies, and I'll be back with more updates soon. Away the lads! Lads!